Hello, this is Dr. Jeanette Raymond, psychologist, psychotherapist, and relationship expert, here to talk to you about some of the rules you might have in your mind about how relationships work and how upset you get when they don't operate in the way that you thought they should. Many people contacted me after my series about why you get attracted to the wrong person and what to do about it. And I talked about how unconscious rules that you were brought up with or that worked in your family may not work when you're trying to have a relationship with an adult as a more equal partner. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of the rules I notice in my work with people who come to talk to me about the difficulties they have with relationships. So I had a client in his 30s who kept wanting to find the right girl, and he was prepared to wait and so on until he found the right girl, because he didn't want to make a mistake and he didn't want to marry someone and then be tempted later on if the right girl suddenly appeared by magic out of nowhere. So he would meet girls, at parties with friends, through work, and so on. And he would get blind dates and things like that and go out with some. And he enjoyed their company, but he didn't feel attracted to them physically. He didn't have that rush of, I want to see her again, and it's so exciting, and so on. And what he shared with me was that if he took a girl out, then he had to behave in a certain way. By the second date, he had to start holding her hand, he had to start kissing her goodnight, and he had to start taking her to particular places. The evening or the day or the weekend had to be perfectly planned out in great detail. And I saw that he was telling me that this was a job he had to do. Otherwise, he wasn't being a good person. He wasn't being a good prospective boyfriend, husband, partner, whatever. And that this was the way things worked. And that in itself prevented him from actually getting attracted to someone, because when it became a job that he had to perform in a particular way at a particular time and in a certain order, there was no room for attraction or enjoyment or pleasantries. It all became about following a rule, following a plan, and succeeding in it. So inevitably, he would meet these girls, take them out, follow his plan to the last detail, but then he would feel so burdened by the responsibility of doing what his plan said he should, that he didn't want to see the girl anymore. And within a week, or at the most 2 weeks, the text messaging would stop, the calls would stop. He didn't want to communicate anymore, and he hoped that she would get the message. So this happened over and over and over again until I kept showing him that this was the case. And what we worked out together was to help him be a little bit more spontaneous and be aware right from the start about what his rules were before he ever met anyone. And if he did, what was his expectations? What was he seeing for himself on that day, that week, that month, whatever, with this girl? Write down all the detail of the rules and just see how ridiculous it was and how it was a complete setup so that he would never get attracted to anybody. It would always be a job, and then the only thing he could do was to have sexual partners with whom he didn't form a relationship. So this is rule number one, that I'm supposed to work in this way at that time with this particular person if they're going to be a partner. And it's got to be a job, or else I'm going to be regretting it later on. I'll be tempted by other women or men later on, and then I'm going to be in trouble. But in the meantime, this poor guy was not able to have a relationship because of the rules that were getting in his way. So you think about your rules when you meet someone, or if you're already in a relationship, what you expect from them, because in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about one of the expectations you have when you're already in a relationship that does nothing but ruin it. In the meantime, please let me know what you think, what works for you, what doesn't. If you have any questions, tell me whether you like this video, do you want more. Please leave some comments and I'll be happy to answer them.